So we have a little free library at our house, and I'm just noticing, holy cow, there are some really, really nice books in there. Flicker in the Dark, I believe, is on my TBR. Have to check, but oh my goodness. The Neighborhood, I don't do anything with this, even though it's our library. I want to do more, but people are being really generous. I might have to borrow this Flicker in the Dark. Well, hello, welcome back to my vlog. If you're new here, my name's Tiffany. I'm a mental health counseling grad student, and I make vlogs about my grad school journey and talk about a lot of other things I'm passionate about too, like being a child life specialist, intuitive eating counselor, doula, childbirth educator, all the things. And I'm I've been looking forward to making this vlog for a long time. Because it is the 1 year of me being in grad school. And I'm really excited in this vlog. I'm really going to share some reflections throughout of what it's been like to be in this program for the past year. And I'm especially excited because tomorrow is actually my 40th birthday. So last year, the very first day of classes was actually on my 39th birthday. And today I have my first day of the fall quarter today, and then tomorrow is my birthday. We'll be celebrating with friends at a brewery, so I'm really excited to take you along with all that and have you join in on the fun of this celebration. So I wanted to first start by just kind of sharing what made me decide to go to grad school, especially at age 39. And I definitely never thought it was anything I was going to do before. I never really thought I needed a master's. And to be honest, what really led me down this path was I had a big life transition that happened a couple years ago that I was really unhappy about, and I was really grieving, and I really believed that I would never find joy again. And I know that sounds dramatic, but that's just where I was at. Throughout that process, when I was like, okay, if I can't do the thing I really want to do because this life transition is ending, what am I going to do now? And I was also kind of shifting. For 10 years. I was in the stage of life of having babies. And I love that. And, I went into birth work, and I still do birth work, partly inspired by that. And so I was done having babies. But I was feeling the pull away from like the stay-at-home mom life, even though I worked. I would do my doula business and teach childbirth classes, and I had a part-time job when my oldest was young. But largely, I always identified as a stay-at-home mom. And so I started to feel the pull. I got to plug in my microphone here. I started to feel the pull away from that. And then I thought I had found what I wanted to do, and that wasn't going to work out long term. And so I really needed to find something else. And I started to kind of connect the dots. And the one theme through all of this was that going back to school to become a counselor could really help with a lot of the things that I wanted to do, and taking it in that mental health direction and just tweaking it a little bit would be really meaningful. And so that's what brought me here. And I'm excited to share more with you as the week goes on. Okay, but really though, I cannot get over the books that are in my little free library right now. This is it's like brand new, hard cover. And there were several of them in there. I don't know who in my neighborhood is doing this, but I am so grateful to whoever it is for donating these beautiful books. And so I'm definitely going to pay it forward, because I'm really just in awe of not just this book, but all the other ones that are in that library as well. Oh, okay, time to focus on class now. Okay, today has taken a significant step up. The morning was terrible with the kids and the drop off. You guys usually see me drop off in these videos. I don't think I filmed any of it today because it was too crazy. But they start out kind of rough, and then I got back here and I just won a giveaway to Marie Fang from Private Practice Skills. Puts out amazing YouTube content every single week, and also has a course bundle, and she just gave away 50 free course bundles for reaching 50,000 subscribers. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think the video had been up for like 45 minutes. I clicked it and there was still, I think, 7 seats left. I'm sure they're gone by now. But oh my gosh, what a way to start out the day. What a way to get class rolling. So I am super excited about this. All right, so I just got done with my first class, which was counseling children and adolescents, and it went great. We have a group project due like week 3, I think, and so they already split us off into our groups. I'm feeling really good about the group. We came up with a great topic, and I'm excited for that. So we are it's like a media project and understanding how different forms of media can affect children and adolescents, and how that affects like counseling with that population. And so we're going to be taking a look at the AI feature on Snapchat and digging into that. So I think that's a really cool topic. It was not my idea. It was one of my other group members. So that was very cool. And now I am just eating lunch. It's shepherd's pie. This is so delicious. And I meant to film some of this meal prep yesterday because I have been using and loving a book called Cook Once, Eat All Week. And it is phenomenal. This is my 3rd week where you have one prep day and you like batch cook your protein and your vegetable and your starch for the week. And so every recipe has like those 3 main components. It's the same thing. So 1 protein, 1 vegetable, 1 starch. And then there'll be some other ingredients that you add, but then each day everything's pre-cooked, and each day you just add like a different profile to it with the different seasonings and sauces, and and so yesterday was cottage pie. So I've made 9 meals from this book so far, and obviously I haven't tried 2 of them that I made yesterday, but out of the 7 we have loved pretty much every one except for 1, and it wasn't bad, it just wasn't necessarily worth the time. So I am a big fan. I hope to maybe do more of that in a video sometime. So right now I'm eating my lunch and getting ready for my next class, which is marriage and family counseling.
But I'll go put that in Colin's closet, and then we can always pull it back out. But I just...
All right, we'll see how much video we can get in while the traffic is low. I've got my window open. It's kind of warm, but I don't want the sound from the air. But I don't know, the traffic sound might be just as bad. We'll see how this shakes out. But I wanted to reflect on the year a little bit and tell you kind of what some highlights have been. And so for me, I think probably some of my favorite classes have been my very first quarter, my theories class. I loved learning the counseling theories. I loved the professor. She was so gracious in her feedback and like really made me feel good about the work that I was turning in. I'll never forget the one piece of feedback on one of my papers was, the first sentence was, "Your papers are such a treat to read." And I was like, wow, like that is so good to hear. And it was such a great way to start this program, and I loved it. And then another highlight was my human growth and development class. That class I was actually nervous about because It was the child and adolescent focused one, and my background is actually in child development. Like, that's a huge piece of child life school. And so I was like, is this going to be like all stuff I know? Is there going to be a point to it? And it ended up being one of my favorite classes, partly because I like development so much. And I learned plenty. Some of it, of course, I already knew, but that professor really took the class's interests and the individuals in the class. I felt so seen, and like she really wanted to create the class and make the class what the individuals in the class wanted it to be, and really paid attention to those interests. And I'm just so grateful to her for that. And then an assignment that kind of stands out was actually in my psychodynamic class. There were 3 options for the final paper, and one of them was writing a poem. You could write a how-to paper, or you could like analyze a historical figure or a fictional figure, and all like kind of applying the psychodynamic lens to one of those things. And I sat down fully intending to write a how-to paper on applying psychodynamic theory to the perinatal period, since that's an area that I really want to focus on. And I decided to give the poem a whirl, and instead I wrote a psychodynamic poem about the perinatal time, and I'm so proud of that poem. And I got so much wonderful feedback I got so much wonderful feedback from other students, and I felt so good about it. But what really sticks out to me about that class is not only was the final like meaningful to me and like the one that I did, but I remember everyone's like projects from the class. I was sitting and I was like, wow, I can still name, months later, I can still name what topic at least 10 people out of the 12 or 15 people in the class, I can still specifically remember what 10 of them did their finals on out of those 3 options. And I just think that really speaks to how much of ourselves we put forth and share in these classes, and I've really enjoyed that. So those are some of the highlights. There's my reflection for now. I'm about to go in and get the kids in a few minutes, and I'll keep checking back in.
Happy birthday to you. Clarence, mommy's birthday.
Thank you, kids.
Did you know
Thank you, kiddos.
End of school.
What was that? Thank you so much. Well, hello, happy Wednesday. It's birthday day. Yay! 40 years old today and having a great day. The kids were so sweet this morning. Their kids came and sang to me, and so we had a smooth getting out the door process, which was much different from yesterday. Got them all to school, all good things. I am almost done with my coursework for today. I'm just focusing on the counseling children and adolescents class, and I did all the asynchronous work, and this is the first class that has quizzes integrated. Most of my classes are really like paper and project and presentation heavy, and 2 classes have had like a midterm, a final, or both. But this is the first that has, I think, 4 quizzes and 4 treatment plans throughout versus like a bigger paper and project. So it's a little bit unique in that sense. So I'm going to take the quiz when I'm done filming this. You get 3 attempts. I'm hoping it's going to be pretty easy. Most of the content this week was stuff I understood and kind of know from my background already. So hopefully it will be smooth sailing. I wanted to talk about how I have kind of managed to balance the priorities at the age of 40, and it's a much different like stage of life than if you graduate your undergrad and go straight into grad school. But I don't necessarily think it's harder or easier now. I think all stages are going to come with its specific set of like challenging circumstances. And I know that for me, had I done grad school right after undergrad, I simply wasn't ready. School was really, really challenging for me when I was young, and I look back and I was definitely not ready for grad school then. So it's taken me until like 40 years to actually be ready for this step. So in that way, that makes it a lot easier. My coursework has all been pretty attainable. There hasn't been any time where I was like, I'm going to fail. Like I'm not going to make it through. There's not been anything that has been so hard academically that I didn't feel like I could handle it. Even among the stressful times, which I know I usually do share in my videos when I'm like, having a hard time, but there's never been a time where I was just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm absolutely done. What is more challenging in this stage of life is just balancing all the different things going on. So for me specifically, parenting is, a wild time under the calmest of circumstances, and just balancing all that. And then with my doula business and being on call, I haven't had a client in a little while. Not since like midterms last quarter, I think. And I've been slowing down a little bit. I was really doing a lot more birth work than I ever had, and like had a lot of doula clients from like last July to this July. And I've really kind of slowed down. It tends to ebb and flow, and I'm thinking ahead to the future of what that will look like with clinical work. Obviously, I always need to have a backup, but the chance of needing backup is getting more and more likely. And so balancing that and figuring out how do I want to do that is a really big balance right now. Balancing the kids. One of the reasons that I chose this program specifically is the other program that I considered, which was in person, only offered evening classes, which is great for a lot of people who work during the day. But for me, I actually work at night. I teach childbirth classes at night. My husband actually teaches college classes at that same college that I was considering. One night a week, and so having to do grad school all in the evening isn't a good fit for family life. That is, my time where I need to be able to be with the kids and parent, and then also sometimes work. So I really needed a program that at least had daytime options. So part of choosing this program was the practicality, but it also was my favorite program from the start. So just balancing all of that has probably been one of the biggest challenges. Academically, though, I'm happy to say that it has been much smoother than I thought it would be, and much smoother than I think my 20-year-old self, 22-year-old self, 23-year-old self would have experienced. I think that would have been a much harder time for me to do that. Not that it's like that for everyone. I know plenty of 22-year-olds in my program now that are amazing. So I'm not saying don't do it at 22. I'm just saying I was not at that stage of life. So there's my reflection for now, and stay tuned.
Three, two, one.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tiffany. Happy birthday to you.
All right.
Make a wish.
Happy Friday. I don't think I updated at all yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty chill day. I just worked on grad school. Took the kids to school uneventfully. Worked on school. Did that third dinner from the Cook Once, Eat All Week cookbook that I've been talking about this week. And that was just burgers and oven fries. And the burgers were great. The fries were good. Everything was great. Took one of my kids to soccer practice, and that was really it. So there wasn't a whole lot of excitement. As for today, my son's birthday is actually tomorrow. So it's been a big birthday week here, and we got up early and went to the donut shop across the street from the school, got treats for his class, and we're actually going to Urban Air after school for his birthday party. The weekend was just too busy to do a Saturday party because there's 2 soccer games and a block party for our neighborhood. So that just wasn't going to work. So we are celebrating today, which seems to be a really good fit for everybody. People are like, yes, Friday after school is a good time for a birthday party. I think in this soccer season and when sports are in swing, those Saturday parties can get a little tough. That's what's going on this morning so far. I am going to, while it is still cool outside, I'm going to clean my car because it is a nightmare in that vehicle. It is so messy, gross, it smells like it's bad. It's bad, y'all. So I need to take care of that, and I will regret it if I wait till it gets warmer out. And all of my asynchronous work, everything that's due on Monday morning is done already. I finished that last night. And so any grad school work I do today is just going to be getting ahead, maybe working on some of those group projects and things like that. So that's what's going on today. All right, that really didn't take too long, but now I need to actually finish this part, which is the part I always don't do. And that's actually putting everything away that was found in the car that is to keep. Because what normally happens is I am so tired by the time I'm done just cleaning out the car that this IKEA bag, I don't have the energy to empty it, and it just sits over there for months. And really, that's probably an indicator that we have too much stuff, but I'm actually going to try to put it away now. And then for the reflection to, kind of end this vlog, I wanted to talk about the next steps in my program. So I am 1 year into this 3-year program. I start my clinical work in the spring quarter, which starts like the last week of March. And that's when the clinical work will start. And I'm really excited, and I've already began the process of looking into places. I think the school will be contacting me, the placement team at the school will be contacting me maybe late fall to like talk with me. And you don't have to find your own placement. They have a team that does it all for you. I do not have enough chill for that. So the other option is you can make referrals to the placement team, but it can't just be like a list of places that you want to go to. It has to be like people you've already built a rapport with and that you've talked to and that have kind of like said they would take you on, or at least like said, that you have a relationship with. And then you give the referral to them, and then they make sure that it meets all the requirements and all of that. So I have had some exciting leads on that. There's one big agency here that a lot of people have had good experiences with. I actually have a friend of a friend, basically, that has now become my friend. She has been so gracious with giving me information and like down to the number that I should call and exactly what to do if I want an internship at this place. And this was months ago, before I even started my program, like a year and a half ago, that she was already giving me information. And so I circled back and said, hey, is this information still accurate? And she's like, nope, let me give you new information. And it was like just so amazing to have that like real life connection. And so I called, and they said that they'll be recruiting for that in October. And so they advised me to apply on their website and like kind of put my name in their system. I can contact them in October once they're more actively recruiting for the spring. And so I'm really glad I did that, because something I realized is that a big agency like that takes a lot of interns, most schools are on the semester system and our school is on the quarter system. And so if I had waited, I think that all of their spots for that like January through May time would be full, and I might like miss out on being able to start like at the halfway point, since we're on these shorter quarter systems. So I'm really glad for that advice and to be getting just a good head start on that. That's a piece of advice for any students out there looking for placements. I think for me, starting 6 months before has been really good. So I've got a good lead there. And then I also talked to a practice owner of a private practice, a group practice that does a lot of perinatal work. And so that's obviously being a real interest of mine. And we talked for like a half hour. I had known her already. So I think a theme here is it is really good to network and connect. And I know that not everybody may not have that, but if you do, really use those resources and do your best to connect if you're not already well connected, because I'm finding that really helpful. And so in that conversation, she's like, there's a lot of, I haven't taken on an intern at this practice before, but I've supervised lots of interns before. And she just has to like go through make sure that it would meet all the requirements and all of that. And so we kind of chatted and came up with a timeline for that. Again, in October is when I said I'd be kind of circling back, and I have to find out when I talk to the placement team and just be kind of on top of it. So some really exciting updates. If you've made it this far, thank you. I know that this has been just a lot of me talking about my experience and my reflections, but I hope it's helpful for someone out there that might be wondering, like, what does grad school look like? Is it worth it? you know, and so far it is 100% worth it for me. So I hope that if you're thinking about it, you go for it. And thank you. I really appreciate you all for sticking with me and this journey. Take care.